Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You're the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. You haven't seen me do this in some time, no? Well, it hasn't been that long. But how you doing? Those who are joining us, those who are tuning in. Impromptu in the studio, American Anchor Baby style, with the intro and everything. It has to be this way, folks, for today. You know, something came up. It's switched up my plans. That's why you have to have no plans. So it switched up my plans, and I got to go somewhere that's like an hour away. It's the only way this is going to work. It's the only way that I was going to do today's show. It would be at this time, here in this chair. So I'm coming at you live right now. This is how we're doing it today. I know, when is the Anchor Baby live? When is he live? Whenever he wants, apparently. See, what you got to understand, this is a little bit, no, it's not a 5-minute show. I'll be with you for a good while, I think. But I do gotta go. So I can't be with you at 4 p.m., but I'll be with you today. I know a lot of people catch the show afterwards anyways. But look, this is how we're doing it. And to be honest, folks, this is a little bit of my dream, where I set up my night show, I do my thing, and then whenever I get a wild hair, whenever I just feel like it, I come in this chair, I do a show from here. That's my dream. But and I know I'm acting like some kind of diva, like I'm not a radio legend, like Jesse or anything. But this is kind of my dream, where I do it this way. And I'll stop talking at this point because I'm cooking something up, and can't wait to show you guys. But today, like I said, I am sitting in this chair, like you may remember, like you may be used to sometimes. Huh? I even posted my show on the Jesse Lee Peterson YouTube. I'm like, we gotta get the people in here. They're unaware of the schedule. The Anchor Baby's live whenever he wants, but I'm live with you today because it's an emergency. It's an emergency, folks. And you can't call in, by the way, 888-775-3773. But it's an emergency. This is an emergency stream. It's an emergency. And we got to talk about it a little bit. An emergency is happening. It's a dire situation in the world.
Oh shit, man, they're in. Oh wow.
Where are you bastards?
They are we're upstairs at last.
Can I get entry? I'm not fucking voters.
I want some work from.
Oh, some fucking voters, man.
A dire situation. A dire situation, folks. Dire. People are fed up, says the low-key scribe. Some names I've never seen before. Thank you. This must be because of the different time. Welcome. If only Americans were this bold and fed up. Something's got to give. It's a dire situation. We're in an emergency. Have you noticed the world is at a breaking point in a sense? But this emergency, this dire situation, look, it's like not at all. The problem is not at all what people think. And the scenes you're watching, I know some even in my chat right now, they're saying, if only Americans were this bold. If only the people over here in America would wake up like this, like these scenes. What an amazing, some of you are cheering these scenes on. Got very poofy hair today. Some of you are cheering these scenes on. You're saying this is a sign of people waking up at a time of such conflict. And so much is where something's got to give. And you're looking at this and cheering. Have you noticed? Have you noticed that there is the only answer to all this is something that we're missing? The thing right under our noses, ourselves, our individual selves. And the world we know is being washed away. The world we know is being washed away. Some say for different ways that this is happening. Some say, it's being washed away racially. The demographics are changing. The world we once knew is leaving. The politics, people don't care about the Constitution. Oops, sorry about that. The people don't care about the things and the stuff about America. The people are changing. People say many different things, right? But can we agree the world we know is like being washed away, no? Something is going on. Do these pictures give you all the feels? Are you getting the feels from this one? Who's feeling the feels from this? Our world being washed away. Danino yogurt. Man, McDonald's and just whatever. This is just consumer stuff. But look, it's being washed away. Are you feeling the feels yet? Are you feeling the feels? It's being washed away and all that. But feels, nostalgia is the word. But this feeling you're feeling, this nostalgia, this feeling you're feeling is false. This fear and despair that has some people out there in the streets is a trauma response, a desperation act. And for many years, for decades, and I know this because I grew up in the culture and school system and all that taught me so many of these things that we're supposed to just assume is normal, like racism and all these things. And an idea has been forming in the people of America, the people of Europe and Britain. This idea has been forming for many decades. It's been fear. And out of this fear, children have been born. And panic has become their norm. And anger took hold. Okay? Have you noticed there is only one answer? There's only one way, the narrow way. Because I hear it now. The apparitions are speaking. They say there's something we can do. There's got to be something we can do. We can't just sit around. We can't just sit back. We got to take it back. But all these feelings, this nostalgia you're feeling, all these emotions are false. This thing you want back, you never had. I mean, for a lot of younger people. For the older people, you let it go. It's not the same country. It's not the same people. And emotional people won't fix anything. Emotional people won't fix anything. Desperation is what I'm seeing. What do you guys see? I see desperation because I hear it now. The strategy, right? Okay, Nick, I get it. Forgive your mom, overcome anger. What a beautiful message Bond puts out. It's so beautiful, but not everyone's going to get it. I hear the apparitions now. Not everyone's going to get it, right? You still have to operate in the world. You got to be strategic and operate in the world. Hey, maybe. Go talk to a politician for that. Time and place for all those things. But are you seeing that there is no other answer than the narrow way? There is no strategic. There's like, okay, there's only going to be the people who sort of get it and the people who really get it, the Christians and the, like, they're listening to Jesse, but then the rest, you got to have a strategy. And blah, 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 blah. It's all this crap. It's all this crap, and what it ends. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? The fruits of it. The fruits of it. Destruction. Hate, blame, victimhood. And look, I can sympathize to some degrees here with those who are rioting or whatever in the UK. They want their country back or whatever. If that's the word here, sympathize. But it doesn't go far. These are people who are being goaded into a trap. There is no strategy around anger. There's no strategy around this evil, this anger, the spirit of anger. And however justified you think you are, the scenes we are seeing now are the precursor, unless something incredible happens, unless some change, unless a people wake up in a real way, or even a small amount of people, but the right people wake up and see that the direction, the world that we live in, let's keep it what we know, the direction the world that we live in is going towards, it's trending to destruction. It's trending to what some people are putting out. Elon Musk is getting a lot of negative attention for saying that Britain is trending to civil war. He's using those words. He's saying civil war. And it's crazy what's coming out. The response is coming out against him. We'll hopefully get into some of those in a moment here. Just how crazy the world is, how unreal the world is. They're talking about extraditing. They're talking about extraditing Elon Musk for putting out misinformation. We will bring him to the UK and try him under UK laws. So maybe you don't even get, maybe anger doesn't make sense to you. Maybe anger doesn't make sense to you. You're like, whatever. Anger's not evil. Anger's the vehicles that we can do things. Okay. Well, let's keep it logical. What is being accomplished? Okay, maybe something good might even come out of it. Good with an asterisk on it. Good in that maybe there's some people who will wake up and be like, wow, they really do want to bring in all these people. They really are replacing British culture. These people really are violent. We got problems ourselves, but look, maybe, sure, but that will come at a cost. That's something I heard recently, but it's true. And what will come of it is not even close to what the people out in the streets want. It will be, they're shooting for the moon, but they're going to get, I don't know. They're going to get jail. They're going to get jail time. Do you understand what I'm saying here? That's the emergency. The emergency is the world remains asleep and angrier than ever. That's the emergency we're dealing with, okay? You understand? Do you see? I want to maybe flesh this out as we go forward here with some stuff. But I want to bring something else up to you that I came across that fits this theme. And it's something I want to bring up to get you thinking a little bit. It's got me thinking. And I will go off the top and what we'll do here in a moment. And I want to see what you think. I want to see what y'all think. I know we got Christians in the chat. Hey, welcome, Carver. Nick, what is with your schedule? LOL. Yeah, that's you back up the show to the beginning, sir. But basically, this was impromptu. I had to do it this way, Carver. There was no way I could do 4 o'clock today, particularly. Something came up. I got to go handle that. That being said, I still want to do a show. I'm dedicated to a daily show. And this is kind of like the dream, Carver. This is kind of the dream where I set up my like night stream and I pretty much like stream wherever I want there. And then whenever I want, I know I'm such a diva. Whenever I want, I get to just come in here and do a show out of here. It's kind of like, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm a radio legend or something. I could just do whatever I want. But I do appreciate you all tuning in. I know you catch the shows after, and I'm getting a nice viewership right now for an impromptu stream. And we're talking about this emergency of anger and fear that is only taking its next chapter. I don't see the world going away from that. And maybe I can't quantify it, but it sure do feel like that. But what are feelings? I was shocked I got notified. Very nice. Not everybody gets notified. Hit that notification bell because the anchor baby, who knows when he goes live. So we're talking about this emergency. We're talking about this emergency of anger. The people are asleep, goaded into a trap. And then I come across this video from Russell Brand. You may have heard of him. You know Russell Brand, right? He became a Christian recently. He posts this on X. The text reads, "I can't believe the Bible says this." And I'll play you the video. Let me play you the video of Russell Brand talking about what it shocked him is in the Bible. He can't believe this is in the Bible. And I want to play it for you. We'll get into the verse too in a moment here. And in the context of the times of what everything's going on, true, only God knows Nick's schedule. This is true. If even him. We're subject to Nick, not the other way around. I love you guys. Let me show you this Russell Brand clip. And I do see calls coming in, 888-775-3773. Russell Brand on what shocked him that's in the Bible during these times. I want you to watch this. Let's see. Russell Brand. Fresh, brand new Christian. Okay, let's go. Oh, okay, wait. I want to turn that up a little bit.
Like never before, whether it's the... Christianity is in the news like never before, whether it's the craziness of the Olympic ceremony or Trump's appeal to Christian voters. People are talking about Christianity in terms of its relationship to the culture and its relationship to politics. That's why I was fascinated to read this verse in Romans, the famous verse, I think, Romans 13. Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against their authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. Hold on a minute, is the Bible telling us to obey the authority of the government? It looks like it, doesn't it? I recognise that sometimes when I don't submit to authority, it's because I'm being willful and I'm in my own, I would have to say, satanic, in the sort of sense that if satanic energy is the energy of wanting my own kingdom, wanting to be my own God, then I would say that that's my own satanic Luciferian, I'm in charge type energy. But submitting to governments that you believe to be corrupt seems like a problem to me. Although there's nowhere in this book where it says that it's our job as Christians to take over the world. There's someone else who's going to take care of that. And he's coming soon. Let me know what you think in the chat. It's an interesting point. Next time I think I'm going to look at Revelations 13.
Yo. Yo. What do y'all think so far? Russell Brand, he's just a new Christian, right? He doesn't know, he's not studied, right? He doesn't know. And I'm seeing some of the murmuring in the chat already. Yeah, obey real authority. He doesn't know that the Bible in that verse, because I've already heard some of this, he doesn't know that in the Bible, that's only talking about like real governments. If the government is corrupt or goes against God, then you're allowed to rebel. I'm already seeing the murmuring in the... He's not... Right, you guys are the studied ones. You guys are the academics. You guys have dealt with this verse before. He just barely read it. He doesn't even know that the Bible is talking about only submitting to the governing authorities that asterisk that go along with God. Address the shirt in the room. What are you talking about, this shirt or Russell Brand's shirt? Be still and know God. So, is this an interesting verse? I've never heard it. Romans 13. Now I'm aware of that. Romans, right? Isn't this the book in the Bible where Paul he's writing a letter to the Romans, to these new Christians in Rome. So let's keep things in context. Let's not, people like to do that with the Bible. It's like, well, Paul was talking to the Romans, but also to me, thousands of years, hundreds of years later. Or Revelations was talking about, those Israelites or whatever. But also me. They're talking about me and us way later. Romans 13 is the chapter in question. Submission to governing authorities. This is, don't get mad at me, New International Version. We're going international. And I see the calls. Don't go anywhere. About to get to you. 888-775-3773. Shall I? This is Romans 13. Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted. And those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right, and you will be commended. For the one in authority is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for rulers do not bear the sword for no reason. They are God's servants, agents of wrath, to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also as a matter of conscience. What the heck do you think he's talking about there? Are we just supposed to randomly, are we supposed to just go along with every government? No, you could totally call in 70 Sue 888-775-3773. You'll just be on hold for a moment, and then I'll get right to calls. If you have a question, if you have a disagreement, if you have something to bring more, insight or more to flesh this out, because we're going into this kind of blind. I had some idea, right? I saw this, I read Romans, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know exactly what it means. And I know Paul was talking to those people. But there's something so fascinating here. Maybe we can mine away and find it here. Because it's so interesting. This is dealing with what's happening right now. Imagine thinking to yourself, they're letting all these immigrants in. They're letting the children get stabbed. They're doing all sorts of stuff. Selling out the Americans, the English, selling out the labor, their stuff and all that for some global crap. Whatever. Wars. And you're telling me we have to submit to that? It's a fascinating thing for me because it reminds me of how didn't they get mad at Jesus? Didn't they think he was going to come and overthrow kings and all that? And he's like, nah. It's like none of that. What I've come here to tell you guys, and I'm paraphrasing Jesus. What I've come here to tell you guys is the truth that I've come to tell you is this kingdom that you're talking about is within. This kingdom has nothing to do with this world. This kingdom exists whether you're enslaved, whether you are a master, whether you are in a corrupt nation, whether you are exiled, whether... I don't know what to tell you. Tell me where I'm wrong. Call me. Because it's so clear to me that's what Jesus came to do. They even got mad at him about that, right? So Paul continues here. This is also why you pay taxes, for the authorities are God's servants who give their full time to governing. Give to everyone what you owe them. If you owe taxes, pay taxes. If revenue, then revenue. If respect, then respect. If honor, then honor. I mean, isn't this... What do you guys think? It's so wrong what people think they're doing out there. Because it's not finally standing up. That was supposed to happen individually in your own life. Overcome fear and be the light. And be the light for real. The light that people can see. Have you ever met someone like that? It's just this light. And even like the haters can't help but love him. The haters can't help but call his show every day. Listen every day. I don't know. Whatever, whoever you're thinking, I don't know. But look. This kingdom within. It's so fascinating. Look. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right and you will be commended. I know, do what is right. It's like, maybe I'm not even accurately explaining that. But that's so true. There's only one way. There is no strategic way to fight in the streets, but also be like good and Christian. There's only one way. You as an individual has to turn away from the world and work on your life while the rest of the world burns. And work on yourself and that kind of stuff, okay? Come on, am I making some sense? It's so amazing. Romans 13. Hey, man, how you doing? Sugar Pancake Face, nice to see you. 888-775-3773. Let me get to this call. But what do you guys all think about that? Because some of you in my chat are like very excited that the Europeans, they're waking up. They should do that over here. What else about this? I want to get to this call here. They've been waiting for a while here, and I'm going in blind with the call. So I don't know your name, and I don't know where you're calling from. So let us know your name and where you're calling from. Oh, hold on. Don't go anywhere, caller. You are on the air now.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, who am I talking to, and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Steve. I'm calling from England.
Steve, thank you so much for your call.
No worries, mate. A long-time listener and big fan of you and Jesse and Hake. And I've never rang you before. I've rang Hake quite a few times, but I never rang you or Jesse before, actually. But
it's a pleasure, man, and honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I agree with everything you've said so far. Because, I mean, I know a lot of people in England who are, not been involved in the violent side of it, but been to these rallies and everything. And no good's going to come from this. It's just a complete setup. And I understand why they feel like they feel, because honestly, pretty much everybody in England, there's like a small percentage of people, mainly women, who are like, oh, just be nice to everyone, keep letting refugees in. But, this issue's been going on for like 30 years in Britain, where we've continually voted to stop immigration. Every time somebody says, we'll stop immigration, they win. Brexit won, even though, to stay in the EU, the advertising for that was everything. There was nothing to leave at all, but that still won. And they've just been continually ignored. They can't even have a conversation about it without being called racist. I mean, I know you shouldn't care about being called racist, and I don't, but, these people are just, it's got to the point where they're like, they feel they've got nothing more to lose, especially the young white lads, because they feel like they're the blame for everything in the world. And, it's not just what happened in Southport. there's so many things that have happened, and it's not nice to see my country go this way, but all that's going to come from this is bad. Like, Jesse changed my life about 5 or 6 years ago, mate. Like, just getting rid of the anger, looking at yourself constantly. And, I can only influence so many people to tell them these things, to calm down, to, try and influence the people around you by being the leading light for those people. And it's just, I knew this was going to happen, pal. I just knew it was going to happen.
Steve, man, thank you for calling from England. And I so much I want to ask you, the scenes, maybe some clarity on some things going on, but right there, overarching point, it's got to be heard. This only bad things are going to come from this. This is the precursor to all the fear. You know what I mean? It's the precursor to the worst things people thought. Not to sow fear, not to be a fear monger here, but the point is that the source of all of this is the same anger you're talking about, Steve. That anger that was in our parents years ago. It's what brought us to this. It's what brought England to this point where you can't say anything without being called racist. It's what turned your neighbors against decency. It's what turned your neighbors against law and order. It's what turned your neighbors against a sound mind. Because you got to have an unsound mind to it's not even logical. Some of these things you can go crazy with it, like trans, but even just simple things like what you see on TV and what you're and the no space between what your government tells you and then you're out there in the streets. It's an unsound mind. It's a spiritual battle. The source of it is anger, the ego, and there's nothing else more important than that.
Exactly. Like, spot on, pal. That's exactly what it is. And it's upsetting to see, but you can't get upset about it. You can't get angry about it. All you can do is try and get things right with yourself. And, like, I've noticed this with my family and everything, is like, just be the leading light, get yourself right and lead the way, and people will follow. That's all you can do. And if everybody did that, we wouldn't be in this mess right now, would we?
Steve, is it true that they're jailing people for social media posts and stuff like that?
I haven't heard of anyone being jailed, but they've been threatening it on the news. I've seen it on the news of them threatening it and them saying that they're going to shut down X in Britain.
Wow.
So nobody can see the truth. I mean, I don't go on X anymore. I just stopped with all that, and I've spoke to people at work about this, and I have watched bits on the news, but I try and just stay away from it because what's the point? Like, it's not going to get me anywhere. Like, I'm trying to stay away from anger as much as possible. I don't.
Yeah, someone earlier.
And that's all. Sorry, go on.
No, my bad. I cut you off, sir.
It's fine. It's fine. What were you saying?
Someone in my chat earlier was saying that X is like a mess. It's just you see mess. You know what I heard recently, which I thought was an amazing advice, and I actually took it. I have a separate account on X. I made like this separate account, and I don't follow any politics. I don't follow anything like that, okay? I only follow business stuff, investing stuff. I follow like only like real, you know what I mean? I have this separate account, and it's like night and day. It's like this now. And X, it still had use for me before because I got a lot of news and stuff for my other job, this job that I do. But that being said, for your average person, it's really is an echo chamber like all social medias, and it seems in this election time it's even worse. It's like really an echo chamber. But I have this second account, and I heard that someone else does this, and this account just follows investment, business stuff, real estate stuff, and it's a whole like it's educational. It has like some purpose to it. It's really cool. So I definitely recommend it. Put away, maybe even keep your normal accounts if you would like to, but make a separate account that only follows things that give you like that are useful to you with a purpose, and you'll see a total different change. It's really cool.
It is, and I mean, it's okay people being on X and saying, "Oh yeah, I want to put my ideas out on that," but you're not changing anyone's mind. All you're doing is arguing, and everyone's just getting angry at each other. Like you say, it's either an echo chamber or it's left and right arguing with each other, and you're not you can't change somebody on the internet anyway. The only way that you change anyone's life is leading by example, you know? Like, the people that I've, like, legitimately changed my life listening to are the people that have led by example. And I see the same thing with my children and that, and, you know, and my wife. It's like, people only change through you being that leading light. It's that, you know, it's that simple.
It's true what you're saying, Stephen. People, the cynics, the intellectuals will hear that and be like, well, whatever. They might even agree with that somewhat, but they will then go into their heads and say, but that won't fix politics. You still need a strategy. You need blah, blah, blah. But then you look at their lives, and maybe, obviously I'm not talking about anyone specific, but tell me if this is not true. Tell me if this is not the common case. That same person, their own life, they're not a master of their own life, of their individual life, which is the one thing you could actually do to create change in the world, like an impact, is to master your own life, you know. And this has to do with money, education, worldly things. It has to do with other things as well. But imagine being an individual master, and then the opportunity arises, like Gideon or one apostle. You know what I mean? Where you can affect change. And this, so for the intellectuals and all that, you may not get it, but this goes all the way. Let's say even politically. Well, how do you change that? You need a competent group of individuals or an individual in the government to change things in a whatever radical way or inside way. But you understand what I'm saying? The reason things are happening now, for example, in England, you'll have them out there yelling, but this is not fair. This is not fair. They can't just go out there and do this. This is England. Sorry, the government has already picked a side. They've already teamed up. They're already the left or whatever. So, and how did that happen? Over a long time, infiltration, whatever. So this, even what you're saying, even fits to the worldly physical things. You sitting out there listening to this, what can I do? Master your life.
Exactly. Like you say, all these experts and that, a lot of them, their own personal lives are a mess. And it's like, if you can't change your own personal life, which you have complete full control over, how are you going to change anything else? Like, you haven't got a chance to change anything else. Like, the only thing you can do is sort yourself out. It really is. Like, nothing else can be changed. It goes from the smallest thing to the biggest thing in the world. It really does.
Thank you for that, Steve. Can I ask you something else about some of the scenes we've been seeing? I know that they're saying
anything you want, my friend.
Thank you, sir. They're out there. They're saying the far right is out there, but I also keep hearing on like X and stuff that these like Muslim groups have come together and now they're going out too. I mean, is that, in your opinion, not to make any definitive claims, we're keeping space, but I mean, in your view, what's really going on? Is it like a whole bunch of Muslims out there? Like, is it even? Go ahead.
So I would say probably like 90% of the Muslims that live here are pretty decent citizens. Mm-hmm. But then you've got the other 10% who are a nightmare and do have these Muslim gangs and everything. And that is happening definitely. Mm-hmm. Like Muslim gangs, black gangs. I mean, just the cities of Britain alone. I know you're in the same mess in America with the cities. They're all terrible, but in England it's exactly the same. And it's, you know, mainly because it's full of these people. And they have been going out targeting white people. I've seen videos of it and that. Like Birmingham is just full of non-whites. Like, it's been happening there. Certain places north of Manchester. I mean, I live like south of Manchester. I live in the countryside, so it's mainly white where I live, and you know, thank the Lord for that.
Fair enough.
Because it's really nice where I live. But,
nice, man. Fair enough. I asked too, and you know what? I'm glad you said that. Sorry, were you going to say something else?
Just, you know, if I travel 20 minutes though, it's not so nice.
I understand.
Basically.
I'm glad you said that, Steve, about, you know, most of them being like decent people. What some people may not understand, like in these more European, I come from Canada, right? It's like, European Union up there. And it's kind of gone nuts with the immigration, let's be real. But, you know, there really is a large amount of decent people amongst these immigrants and all that. I would like to see them personally, because it's the same in Canada. You'll have like halal gang and stuff. And then the immigrants are like, I don't know, whatever. That's just something else. They won't even say it. They kind of like, because I've been around their families. I grew up with a lot of them. They honestly, internally, they're like, they turn a blind eye and they think it's kind of cool. I'd like to see, personally, I wish they kind of came out more and were like, you know what, we condemn all this. This is crap. This is it. This is these are angry people. This is not. They're. We're Muslims too, but we're not like them. I'd like to see more of that personally. But I'm glad you said that, man.
Yep, I completely agree with that, and that's the issue that I do have with them. And like, because I work with a Muslim who's like a good friend of mine. I mean, his mum's Christian and his dad's a Muslim, but he's, really, he is a really good guy, and he is very honest about this whole situation and feels the same as me about it. He's not biased, but the majority of Muslims are biased, and that's the problem, is they don't come out and call the bad Muslims out. And it's similar to what Jesse says about the blacks with crime. It's like, it's not all, but most. And the thing is, it's with the blacks with crime, it's like they're not all doing it, but most of them are covering for them or making excuses for them, or not calling out the bad behavior, or saying it's because of this or because of that. And it's like, that's the problem. It's like, it should be condemned wholly by everyone. Anything bad should be condemned by everyone, shouldn't it? You shouldn't have teams when it comes to any of this stuff.
Right. Just want a decent country, decent life, and I think there'd be plenty of Muslims, Hindus, whatever, that want that as well. Man, what else, Steve? What I want to ask you, I'm forgetting, man, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Is there anything else you want to say before we move the wheels?
No, just keep up the good work, my friend. I've been such a big fan of all of you. Sorry, I didn't mention Joel before. Joel Friday as well.
Oh, yeah. Shout out, Joel.
Just everything to do with Bond is just, when you buy into it and you do the silent prayer morning and night, you drop the anger, you forgive your parents, it's life-changing. It really is. And I wish the whole world could do it, but I can't change them. But I just want to say, keep up the good work, my friend.
Thank you so much, Steve. Call me again.
Will do, my friend. Take care.
888-775-3773. Steve out of England. I do appreciate that, calling us there, especially if the Anchor Baby loves thematic stuff. Okay, come on. So let's see here. We got Art out of Ohio. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, man?
All is well, sir. Welcome.
So check this out. So that dude Steve, you said he a Muslim?
No.
Oh,
I don't believe so. No.
Oh, all right. So he said you can't change somebody on the internet. Ain't that what his words was? Going back and forth in the comment section. I think it started off from the conversation started off on X, and I just wanted to say that's that part was I feel like was logically nonsense, because me just even back in the day, a long time listening to Jesse. I ain't listened to Jesse Lee Peterson in a while, but just knowing just me listening to him in the past, that he changed and made me change a lot of my views on a lot of stuff, and that was off the internet in the comment section. Going debating people back and forth in the comment section. They challenging my point of view, me challenging their point of view, and pause. That's the problem that I have with the YouTube and the censorship on the internet, is that when you go to censor and stuff, you stifling people's conversation. People able to communicate for safety, just to have dialogue and fire up their brain cells. And, I just me listening to y'all, it made me, y'all made me, my brain cells fire. Y'all give me different thoughts, having intellectual conversations that we know the Democrats don't do. But when you censor people or whatnot on YouTube and comments and stuff, you take away my freedom of speech to be able to have somebody challenge whatever I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? To make me possibly change how I'm thinking. And that's what the Democrats don't like. And you know, the liberals and the progressives don't like or whatnot. But that's on that little subject. Anything you want to say?
Look, Art, I don't disagree, man. I'm glad you brought that up because this is a fair point. I'm glad you said that. Would you agree with me, Art, though, that that's like rare? Wouldn't you say that's a little rare and it requires some a different kind of personality and to kind of operate like that. So would you say that's kind of rare? Most people are not examining and taking the challenge like you're describing. They just want to fight. They just want to fight. Let's be real. Online, offline.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You got it. And that's the crazy thing. If you think about it, that's a good point. Now, if you go into certain sectors of the internet, YouTube is like the hood. It's like interactually, like you going to work and stuff. But it's on the YouTube. It's like the streets. Basically, what I'm saying. If you go to certain demographics, low level thinkers, you gonna bump into stuff like that. If you go to certain YouTube channels and they more liberal, you gonna bump into some stuff like that. But if you go to channels that or conservative or maybe, you know, where you got free thinkers that have brains, you like me, you want to have that dialogue back. And when you having that dialogue back between Art, I'm going to insult you. However you throwing it out there in the comment section, I'm going to throw it back. Don't get your feelings hurt. Don't be deleting no comments. Let the freedom of speech be what it is.
Nice.
If you got a soft heart, you don't need to be on the internet. It should nothing be banned on the internet. If you a kid, you need to be censored. But no grown-ups should be, after 18, there shouldn't be no grown-ups being censored in what they saying on YouTube.
Hey.
Because you stifling my conversation. Okay, what if a civil war jump off in America, hypothetically, and me and you need to be conversing off YouTube, and you got them stifling and deleting and censoring my conversation with and only form of communication is you. That's a national security. That could be a national security problem.
For sure, man. Like, sorry, go on.
If you blocking my communication, I mean, it can start. It starts in the comment section as far as me. Hey, shut your mouth, you this, and then it turns into something bigger. But I'm saying, what if it's something serious, an emergency situation, and the only way I can communicate with Terry Strange or Frederica from LA / Frederick, or would take me to your dealer in the comment section. If I need to communicate with these people and you censoring me in a national security problem in America or whatnot, I can't communicate. That's dangerous. If I'm being robbed or shot at, and I'm being blocked from calling 911, and you blocking me from calling 911. You see what I'm saying? I'm
following you, man, and that's the world we're living in. Look, they've already done it. It's already done. They already got these censors. Well, there's some people trying to break free, I guess. What, Elon Musk, X.com? Come on. It could be crazy, but they're also trying to not get censored. But they already did. They already have that. They were already censored. They already messed with the Google search results in the 2020 election. Yeah. They're already messing with this Google search results in this election cycle. You know what I mean? It's crazy what you're saying, sir, and it's true. And I don't disagree with a word of it. Would you say that it remains quite rare to be someone who speaks like that takes the challenges like you, let's bring on the free speech and all that? Would you say that's quite rare? Not only amongst the companies and the intellectual class and the government, but your neighbors, your average person.
Hold up, Nick, I got you. You over here throwing them Pedro Martinez 105 mile per hour fastballs, man. I like that, man. I like that. Nah, you good? Nah, I'm catching it. So, it back in the days, if you come up and you had a pawpaw or you was like the early generation where you had an imagination because you had to go out and make a crate that carried this a basic little wooden crate, if you know what I mean, a pallet. and you had imagination to where you would be out there like, oh, I'm going to turn this, I'm going to imagine this is a go-kart. You out there for an hour, 2 hours because you had to have imagination, not be in the house or whatnot, or you had people that was around you that was intellectually challenging you, then you more than likely going to be like me. You want to interact and be a freedom thinker and be able to converse back and forth. But right now, it ain't like that because the propaganda that they putting out here is basically DEI, non-challenge your brain type of stuff. They don't want nobody to challenge them. They just want them to be able to think and move however they follow the crowd. And
you're describing the government, right?
Yeah.
The same way you just described the government, the same way.
I'm describing the left.
The left. Thank you.
Left.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Go ahead.
Because because you're absolutely correct. The same thing you can say about the government, and you made it clear the left is what you could say about your neighbor. Your neighbor, your next door neighbor thinks like this. They're not taking in the free speech, the challenge, and speaking it out. Okay, they have fear, they have all that, and that's what we're talking about a little bit. The people out here fighting are not getting the insight and discussing it like how you're describing. It's really just a fight, and they don't care about learning. And even the example you gave
about challenge, they don't care about the challenge of it. Just the back. And truth be told, the crazy thing is, they will challenge you, but it will be some non-logical challenge. It's your typical low ball, racist, abortion stuff, the same, like, I don't see no color, everybody's welcome, let's give everybody free stuff, and it's all they'll talk to you about nonsensical stuff, but stuff that makes sense, they don't want to hear that.
I understand you. And you know what? I'll put it like this. Even the example you gave of, I went on the internet and I saw a disagreement and saw Jesse and I learned something. When you really, I don't know if you agree with this, but when you really examine that wasn't even Jesse. That wasn't the internet. That wasn't Jesse. That wasn't you. That was just like the truth. You just were able to see the truth. I don't know who God let you do that. I don't know if it was God who did that, but you understand what I'm saying? It wasn't the fighting. It wasn't the arguing. It wasn't the internet, and it was, you're just ready for the truth.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Yeah, I gotta say, all this fighting is not a sign of people waking up. I think that point remains. What do you think? All this fighting is not a sign of people waking up.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I see my twos and fews, man, but you look at them, and I know a couple of people that like this Kamala chick, and they just full-fledged set this like, wow, they don't see the writing on the wall, and it's like I'm just damn near done with this, even wasting my brain cells and wasting my breath that Father God blessed me with, just, So, I mean, but yeah, that's pretty much it on that little subject.
Loud and clear, Art.
Well, I'll catch you later. I'm going to let you continue the show. I ain't going to be long-winded, as, keep it long story short.
No problem, sir. Call me again, Art. Nice to hear from you.
I ain't telling we still rolling with Trump. And
yeah.
I appreciate good hearing from you, too.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Yeah.
888-775. What a mess. What's up, Bill? Yo. Yeah. Go on in. Man, it's a mess on the earth, right? It's a mess here on this earth. But I think we can switch it up a little bit. I think we can. Let's go out. Let's go somewhere else, Bill. This world is on fire. They're out there rioting. I think it's time we go somewhere else, no? Like out of this planet type deal. like what is
off the earth?
Like off the earth. I hear there's some quite intelligent people trying to make it happen. SpaceX and Boeing.
Right. But the latest news is Boeing. The ISS has Boeing was doing a test on their their spacecraft, the second test. They've had a lot of problems with it, and they keep on having problems. And at the moment, it looks like, get this, it looks like the astronauts might be stuck up there. The two test astronauts,
no!
They're going to be stuck up there until February.
No way! I mentioned this I must have mentioned this like a month ago. Like, how long has it been? Because I must have mentioned this
like a couple of months ago. Yeah, it was like a couple of months ago. They were supposed to be up there for like a week.
They're still up there.
And they're still up there, and it looks like they might be up there for like another 6 months.
How is this allowed? How is this okay? Boeing, figure it out.
I mean, and I found out that apparently the software, they can't just bring it back either, because I guess the ship itself is configured, it's programmed and configured for crewed flight, so it has to be reconfigured. And this reconfiguring is supposedly going to take like a month for them to reconfigure the ship, basically reprogram it and test everything out, reset it up to come back uncrewed.
What? Okay, so help me understand. There's the International Space Station is up there orbiting. What? Do they call it low Earth orbit? What is it?
Yeah, it's low Earth orbit.
But that means it's not touching the atmosphere. It's like out there spinning around the Earth. So it's out there. And then how did these astronauts get up there in the first place?
They went up there on a test flight for the Boeing Starliner. You should look that up.
Yeah, let's get some images, use the snazzy equipment here. The Starliner, the Boeing Starliner. Let's show the people what it looks like. So this thing went up, and it went up with a crew of two. This crew of two?
I can't see them, but a crew of two. It's a man and a lady.
Uh-oh. This man and a lady? Boeing Starliner astronauts. Yeah, this is them.
See them.
Oh,
I think so.
Yeah, this is them.
I think that's them.
Tense.
Yeah.
No. Are they married?
No.
They're not married?
No, none of them are married.
Oh, no, these astronauts don't get married?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're just stuck up there.
Whoa. Okay, so they've been there for a while. This is from IGN. NASA may use SpaceX Dragon to retrieve astronauts stranded on ISS following Boeing Starliner malfunction.
They've been saying like the last 2 months that everything's fine.
That's what I kept hearing.
Yeah, everything's fine.
That made me nervous.
They're coming back on the Starliner. This is just for testing. but we're looking at it now, and I guess there's been NASA, checked out they had a, what do they call it, where they all talk to each other, and make sure everybody's on the same page and everybody's agreeing, and people aren't agreeing about them coming back on the Starliner, the two people. So it looks like they may be coming back on a Dragon, but it's not like in stone yet.
And the disagreement
happen.
Centers around like
the thrusters. It has some leaks.
So there's problems with the mission.
There's some leaks, but there's also some thruster problems. I guess the thrusters are getting too hot, and they're causing some of the material inside. I think it was some Teflon. Don't quote me on that. I think it was some Teflon material is getting too hot, and it's coming off or bubbling or something.
You don't really get multiple chances at this kind of stuff. And and I remember I was feeling nervous, and I'm not even up there. I was feeling nervous hearing about, we'll get it going. Don't worry, we'll get it going.
Yeah. I mean, they've really kept it in wraps, the last couple of months, and now suddenly it's like, wow, it's like all out there.
So are they in the? So the Starliner goes up. We're showing the Starliner on the screen. Okay, hold on. The Starliner goes up. Right. It's like in stages, I imagine, right? Like a rocket. It breaks off some stages.
It's basically the thing on the top.
And the thing on the top connects to the International Space Station.
Right.
And then once you're connected,
it's really like the module on the top.
So like, how much space do you have in there?
Huh?
How much space do you have? Can you leave the Starliner thing and go into the space station?
Yeah.
And so you have all that space available.
Yeah, they're all in the space station. This thing is just docked to the space station.
And there's only 2 people up there right now, or are there others at the space station?
Oh no, there's I think there's there's 9 of them, I think, at the space station right now. Yeah.
Oh, it's
there's
a party.
There's supposed to be only like 7, but there's actually 9 up there because of these 2. They were supposed to only be up there.
They can't hitch a ride with somebody else?
No, I mean it's like everybody has their seats that are called for. Oh, that's another thing, but it seems like
if they take the seat, then they got to leave somebody else behind.
Right, exactly. I was thinking that. I mean, these ships are actually capable of taking more people up, but you'd have to reconfigure them or bring some extra seats up and reconfigure them. But maybe they just can't do that up on the ISS by itself. Also, they've also apparently they've been talking with SpaceX about using their cargo dragon to actually bring back astronauts.
Let's go SpaceX.
Which will be like a couple of astronauts will be coming through on one of the cargo ships, can come back down. And some scenario, they're working on that scenario.
You need some. It's in these cases you need like some Mexican astronauts, because like you can't just they can't just squeeze in. You know when you only have 3 seats in the back, but you squeeze in.
No, you can't do that. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to do that.
You can't just squeeze in. Just get down when the cops go by.
No, you just jump in and lay down on the bottom.
Yeah, why not?
Right under the seats, and just hold on.
On someone's lap.
Oh,
no, that's not gonna work.
No, not a good idea.
Why not? Oh well, I guess you are coming in like a meteorite into the Earth. I guess you're gonna need. You might get like you're saying it's unsafe.
You don't want to get jostled around.
Okay,
right?
I see that. That makes sense. That makes sense. Because I'm thinking like just cram in.
Well,
like,
they're in suits when they come back down from space. Also, they're always in these suits, and the suits have to be connected into with a umbilical. They have to be connected into the life support systems in the ship. So if they don't have life support systems in the ship, then you would just have the air or whatever you have that's in your suit.
Dang.
Now, but the suits are, these suits are made so that if they lose pressurization in the module inside, they're fine, because that's happened before. They lose pressurization and everybody dies before.
Holy crap! I get you. So the capsule's coming in and you lose all pressure.
Right.
Damn, what would happen? I guess you
all die.
You like it's like these diving bells that come up too fast. The pressure you would like, is it like that? You would like explode?
No, it's not like that. It's just like you can't breathe and you just black out.
Damn.
But,
it doesn't take long. You just need a couple minutes, no oxygen, and your brain's dead, or parts of it is dead.
Right. Well, it takes a little more than that, but yeah, pretty much. You start freezing.
That's incredible. And they got another month up there. Like, what do you even do up there? They don't have.
Well, they're gonna be.
They already did all their Sudokus.
They're gonna be work. They're supposed to be up there for a week, but. It looks like they might be up there for another 6 months. They'll be doing somebody else's work.
6 months. Holy.
So they'll be working doing some other folks' work that
can
they
we see
didn't
what
train for.
Lucky. Can we get some overtime? What's the inside of the ISS look like? Like, how much space do they have?
I don't remember, but it's quite a bit.
Just trying to show some images.
It's not like a lot of space. I mean. Because there's just so much equipment and junk in that.
Oh, I'm familiar with this image. This is that observer module. It's famous. The pictures that come out of this thing.
Oh yeah,
that's it's like stuck on some part of the ISS.
Right, and you can look down and see Earth.
Yeah. This observer module is famous.
Bunch of windows.
Yeah, this shape is what's famous, no?
Right.
The shape and the windows. Definitely seen that. Right, the cupola module.
Right.
I'm just seeing it right now.
Yeah.
Cupola module. Yeah. Very cool. I mean, maybe not for them. I don't know if they think it's cool anymore. They might be bored. I think they're done with the International Space Station. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean. When you jump on a ship for a test mission, you just never know what's going to happen. This is a real demonstration of that.
Joel Friday's in the chat saying they up there making babies for sure. You missed the part where there's 9 other people, so there's no privacy. So they don't even get that.
Well, I think there's like half. It's like half women, half men, and half women up there right now.
It's a party. You've seen some of these academics, man. They could be kind of like wild. You know what I mean? These nerds.
It's a very busy place.
It's like the Olymp. You know, you hear about the Olymp. Have you ever heard about the Olympics? How, they basically the hotels where they get put in is like hedonism. Like hedonism on out of control.
No,
you get all these athletes. It's such a known thing.
Listen,
in fact,
there's so many cameras and stuff around this the ISS in there. Yeah, there is no privacy. There's hardly any. So no,
this is not happening.
Right, it's just not happening. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like these I was saying the Olympics. It's like a known thing. In fact, they had to. It's such a known thing that I forget which one it was, but in one of the Olympics, where they had everybody stay, they took out all the normal beds and they put these like eco beds or whatever, but they were like cardboard. They were barely like, if you sat on it too hard, it would break. And I think I remember this coming up because the reasoning behind that was not just like green stuff. It was because these Olympians were, getting it on too much. You get all these athletes from around the world, they come together. I heard similar things about the nerds. Just saying, no privacy up there, though. Sorry, y'all. Hopefully they bring you back home soon. What a mess.
Oh, man.
Man, I've been wanting to talk about that.
Professionals. They're not going to do anything. I don't think so.
Do you hear about that woman astronaut who poked a hole or something up there because she needed to come home? And she got something about like she's some woman married to a woman. And then something went wrong, and she caused all these issues to come back home early. You hear about this?
No.
Female astronaut causes issues.
I have not heard about that one.
Space station. Astronaut Serena Anon Chancellor intentionally damaging the ISS. Russia. So this is the story. I'm getting out of me all, but I do remember it now. Russia made this claim, right? So basically, the Russian astronauts found some damage and all that, and they put out this report, and they're saying it was this woman. She denies it. All the media, all the American media came out to protect her, but the story goes that this woman got up there and became inconsolable. It started damaging things, and they had to bring her home or whatever.
Wow.
When did this happen? This particular story is from 2021.
Wow. That's not long ago at all.
But that was the claim from the Russians. I don't know. Maybe there's just a Russian hoax, but that's what it was.
Yeah. I don't know.
What a mess, man. Bill, thank you so much. Anything else we can touch on this? Can we go anywhere else with this? Because this is fascinating, and I hope they come home. You're saying 6 months?
Well, I mean, it's
That's
with
great.
the next it's the next crew, coming back instead of 4 of them going up, and they're all trained for this stuff. This is another problem too, Oh, another thing, they're going to be. I guess the next crew is supposed to go up on, I think, the 24th of next month of September, and they're supposed to go like I think the 16th of this month, but because of this whole fiasco going on with the that we're talking about, yeah, they're leaving. They're going to be leaving like over a month late.
Jeez,
and then instead of all 4 of them going up, it might be only 2 of them going up.
I don't like if I go somewhere on a trip and the trip gets extended or something, like by 1 day.
It's a hell of an extension.
I don't like the 1 day extension. A month plus the months that have already been up there.
Well, no, we're talking 6 months. No, 8 month. 8 month extension.
Jeez. I don't wish it on anyone. What a mess. Boeing's not been looking good for Boeing, huh? Anything else we can say about this, Bill, you think?
Not really. I mean, I don't know what's up with Boeing. Boeing's, wow. This does not look good for Boeing. I mean, yeah.
The diversity thing is not a joke. This, like...
You think that's what it is? It's diversity.
I can't say it's...
You think it's the DEI thing. They're not getting the best people. They're getting, like... They're throwing in, like... Yeah, they're getting some women and they're getting some other folks, just not because they're the best, but because they want their quotas or something like. You think that has something to do with it?
Something to do with it, but it's more like this, in my opinion, because there's the DEI thing, which is like, okay, put in these people even if they can't do the job, because they're black or something. That's crazy. But are companies really going to put themselves under for that? I doubt it. I think it's more to do with.
I think it's just they're just not.
I
think a bunch of not so smart people are not engineers, are in charge.
Yes.
And they're making, they may have risen up the ranks, but they're just not great at it. And, and it's causing problems. It's leading to these different problems. Okay.
I'll put it like, I'll let you finish, sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's just leading to these problems.
I'll put it like this. You hear about that missile? Remember I was telling you about the missile thing? How America has been giving all these missiles to these other countries. Ukraine, Israel, whatever. And they say billions of dollars going to these countries. When they say billions of dollars, they mean billions of dollars in stuff, billions of dollars of missiles and all that. Remember I was telling you they're bringing out these engineers out of retirement to build more of these because they literally forgot how to make them? They don't have the personnel to do it. There's been a brain drain in all the major industries. So it's not so much. DEI is just the zit, the tumor, the visible tumor of the cancer that's been going on kind of way before. And it's more than just some radical black women that are like, let's just hire blacks. It's like, no, there's been a full-on brain drain. People are dumber. The people are just worse all across the board.
I think,
and they're so degenerated that their latest scheme is let's just put in DEI, which is just the latest of their problems. That's my take.
These folks are not. I think it's just overall okay. People are they're just less real. Yeah. So they're just less real.
I love
so
this
then
point.
You have
this point you make about reality. I love it.
Yeah, they're just less real. I mean, so the human experience is really between ego and real, and they're just less. We got more ego and we got less real, and that's why you have stuff like the Olympics where you have the guys are competing and saying they're women, and they let that fly somehow. Okay, that's it. They're not real. It's more an ego thing than it is about anything real. Okay, and this is just. It's actually hard on the ego to even think that people are this far from reality, that this is even true, this is even real. I mean,
that's one of the realest things
we're like more, it's like we're more a bunch of savages or that's part of us more than we'd like to admit. I mean,
that's one of the realest things you said, man. I love that point you make about it. It's like you can really separate it like that, and it's like you're into real things or you're into like the false reality, the ego, and it's so unreal now. It's crazy. It's like hard to even explain.
The unreality is not about functioning.
Yeah,
it's not about real. It's all about the vision. It's all about the self-vision, it's all about, it just ain't real. I mean, and then you look around these people and they do stuff that just doesn't function, and then it destroys whatever it is. It just destroys itself. And then they make a bunch of excuses about, everything and it's all getting worse around them and because of what they did. But they're literally in denial about that too.
That is such a fair criticism. I think you can. I really like what you're saying too, because you can even put this. I think you even said it earlier. It's more in ourselves than we'd like to admit. Amongst the conservatives, let's go right wing with it. Let's go Trump people. They have this too. This vision.
No. This is across. This is the human experience. Yes. Period. It's not. But
they don't want to function correctly.
Right. But.
Sometimes functioning correctly seems lefty.
It's just like the folks that we're talking about right now. I mean, the people that we're talking about right now. Okay, the far left are just like, it's just nothing but that making decisions. It's like ego is making all the decisions, nothing, no. It's like they're as far away from reality as they can possibly get away with.
Totally.
And
yeah,
within functioning in their group of people, that's all there is to it, but this stuff is everywhere. I mean, it's only hard to see actually, because it actually is in everybody to some extent, but if you were able to really look at it from the outside, it'd be starkly clear what's going on.
Man, Bill, thank you for that. I can't agree more. What else about this? Sir, you kill it with that one. That's one of the realest things you said. You're welcome to take the floor. Anything else you want to say? I'm about to take some calls here and finish the show. But
okay.
Thank you, Bill. You can walk in front of the camera, no problem. He won't walk in front of the camera. He will not do it. He's an engineer. He will not, even with permission, ruin and destroy. He's an engineer, for God's sake. We got Rachel out of Los Angeles. I do appreciate your call. You're on the air.
What up, Nick? How are you?
All is well, Rachel. Thank you for your call.
Yeah, I called a while ago, which is fine. I was going to chirp in on some stuff that you guys were talking about.
No problem. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Well, I mean, after hearing Bill talk, actually, what I want to, can you read that verse again?
Romans?
I'm really taking it back to the top of the show.
Nice. Nice.
Find like a through line to connect everything that we
submission to governing authorities. This is Romans 13. Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves, for rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right, and you will be commended. For the one in authority is God's servant for your good, but if you do wrong, be afraid, for rulers do not bear the sword for no reason. They are God's servants, agents of wrath, to bring punishment on the wrongdoer.
What's interesting is the first couple of times you read that and then went into Russell Brand and everything after that, I was looking at it through the lens of like what we would consider governance in a country or a city. And I guess that was relevant because we were looking at riots.
Yes.
But just now, after really listening to it with my eyes closed, I heard that as a spiritual conversation, the governance within. And I don't know what I'm really talking about, but I feel like humanity, or rather evil or the ego that we know as reality, like tangible reality that we can see, and I see you, I see a tree, I see whatever, I see these riots. It is like, I don't think the trees are governed by evil, but I think humanity is, until you go within and you start asking those questions, like, why can't I see? And I want to see, and God will reveal certain things to you. And the unfortunate thing is like, as it pertains to translating things from the Bible into things that we tangibly see, is, I don't know, I feel like we start overlapping it with evil. We start overlapping it with rationing. We start interpreting from the beginning of time until today. And how does this pertain? And let me find somebody to back it. And he agrees with me. And let's argue about it. Let's talk about it. And really, it's just, even as it relates to the spaceship in the sky, trapped for 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever, like, it's all weapons of distraction, And I mean, it's not wrong or good or bad or whatever. It's just, I think, when you really see it, it's not necessarily seeing like, and I'm guilty of it. Like, I love to dig and find law and find receipts and like look at this guy's last name and he worked at this bank and
Yeah,
now
yeah,
he
yeah.
does this, and it's really obvious in a court of law that this guy's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
next,
yeah, yeah.
whatever. It's entertaining. I get a thrill out of that. But I think the louder this all gets, like evil, you know, and like, I'm not quoting Jesse because he's anything to quote, but I mean, he said it like, Satan's just going to get louder and louder and louder the more you, like, the second you start saying, like, God, I want to see you. And, you know, and if we do look at things from the beginning of time of who Satan even is or what evil even is, it's like, I guess that's still open for interpretation, but my understanding is that he was like, I'm going to be God. I am God and I win. And it, you know, I'm going to reign. And God was like, I don't think so. So if that's his end goal right now, like I just told my sister today, I'm like, I'm expecting to see people like literally foaming at the mouth and growing fangs in the next year, not because they're on fentanyl and not because whatever. And maybe also because they're on fentanyl, but like the wickedness in every human being is real. And I see it in myself, just listening, you know, I see the judgments come up when I hear people share their opinion or I see something. So I'm not like, you know, excused from like having a wicked heart by any means, but you know, I just think, you know, as it pertains to everything that we look at, like even in the time that we've been alive on this earth, like if we're going to start, I don't know, I think it's choosing which lane you want to look at something. If you want to choose the lane of the Constitution and the country and how things have become censored and this and that, like in our lifetime, we have to take responsibility for it because no one has stood up. No one. We've just been emotional about it. You know, I mean, all the way back to, you know, in my lifetime, Tipper Gore putting explicit lyrics on an album cover.
Yeah.
You know, like no musicians pretended to stand up.
Right.
But if you look at like what the military-industrial complex really is, that's all a distraction too. None of them really lost any money. And if you look at how they're being used and pumping through X, Y, and Z and so on, like
isn't some of this media is like the government?
Well, it's all been orchestrated for.
I'm talking about Hollywood. I'm talking about music.
Yeah.
Like there's been some involvement there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's like, well, is humanity going to look to the government and music and Tipper Gore and like, you know, to tell us how we're supposed to live and find peace and joy and freedom? Like we do have a constitution, but we've not been living off of it for the last 100 years, no matter how much we want to cry about it. We haven't.
Yeah.
So, and nobody stood up to do anything about it. And there's reasons why, but I think as it pertains to this, like what you also talked about at the beginning of the show, and like it is within, it's like it is within period. Like period. There's, you know, and it's just how bad do you want to stay in hell and how bad do you want to get out of it? And you don't have to do anything but look and see what was going on within, you know, and it's, I think it's, the challenge is like what Bill was saying, like what's real and the ego. And, you know, we know things to be real because I can look at a tree or look at a dog or look at a person or look at color. And I have words to go with that. And I can touch that or smell that or whatever, taste food. But all of that aside, when you're sitting by yourself, like the fear that you have, like the daunting fear that can wash over you out of nowhere in the middle of your sleep or in the middle of even having a good time.
Yes.
You know, I think they're just two separate conversations and they're intertwined because they just are. I don't know. I mean, that's like probably the most philosophical question anybody could ask. But just really quick, just to bring some lightheartedness to do it. Like when I was listening to Bill talk about the spaceship and people getting stuck and Boeing, I don't know. I don't know what's real and what's fake anymore. But my primary question was like, we talk about these rockets and the testing and Elon and going to Mars and whatever, whether you believe in it or not, and AI and robots. and Boeing's having all these problems because of D or whatever, but airplanes look the same inside for like the past 40 years. Like some of them still have ashtrays. And so that's like kind of just something I look at. Like, I don't know, even inside of that argument of talking about anything, like why is an airplane not like the VIP lounge everywhere? Like why did we never update the inside of an airplane ever? Like sometimes you have to because the carpet's been worn or you got to replace the upholstery or whatever. But you know, I have a watch and a computer. I don't know. I think it's like some sort of mind manipulation.
You know, if the person who you might want to look into the man who created first class. You see, apparently it used to be first class for everybody until the person who created first class.
Well, right. Even like the class system aside, the inside of an airplane doesn't look that much different than it did in the 80s. Yet we have Teslas and we have self-driving cars and we have computers and phones that unfold. Like we can do like virtual reality. It's just weird to me. It's a weird since since a lot of our vision is based on what's in front of us and what we can see and touch. Why does the inside of an airplane look the same today as it did when I was 10?
I mean, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear about it.
I don't know. It's just a question I have. It's like I think it's a psychological, like keeping the general public dumb or something that I don't know. I really don't.
If I may, because of time, due to time, I need to run out of here in 2 minutes. To wrap up two things here real quick. What was it? Okay, I forget one of them, but I'm glad you're saying what you're saying because it sounds to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounds to me like you agree that, how do I put it? Like, while the world would maybe scoff at what you're saying about the inner world and the only thing that matters, it sounds to me like you're quite happy with just dealing with that while the world scoffs at that.
Yeah, I'd rather just deal with within. It's, you know, it can be wild enough on its own sometimes, but you know, the more I sit and look within, there's just no reason for me to look out and come to any conclusion about really anything. You know, I mean, it's kind of ironic that I just said that, having just talked about the inside of an airplane, but I don't really think the inside of an airplane matters. I just think it's like a weird thing that we're like, I'm going to die on the hill of everything that I see, but I'm going to ignore the fact that this airplane looks the same in 1992 as it does in 2024. It's like, I don't know. I guess.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it too simple?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. Airplane tickets seem to be going, I don't know, like kind of what you get, what you pay for. Like, what are you getting? You know, like I'm paying 2-3 times more of it for an airplane ticket.
Chad is saying, oh, it's broke.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is broke.
Oh, it's broke.
Anyway,
Rachel, I gotta run. Please call me again.
All right.
Call me again, Rachel. I gotta run.
Peace out. Bye.
All right, Space Cadet man. Sorry I can't get to you, but Space Cadet, you held so long. I'm so sorry. I gotta run. I gotta go. I basically gotta go. Space Cadet, call me tomorrow, sir. I will take your call first. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. I'm out, y'all. In fact, I should have kind of left maybe like 5 minutes ago. Take care. See you tomorrow. Some of you have joined late. You're like, whoa, wasn't it going to be live? You would never know when this guy's live. You got to hit the notification bell, okay? And tomorrow I'll be live at 4 p.m. Today was extenuating circumstances. But don't think I'll be too much of a stranger to this chair, because I don't know what to tell you. This is kind of how I always wanted it. I wanted to do the night stream, and if I get a wild hair, we come in here and we do American Anchor Baby with the intro and all that. But for now, take care. The elusive Anchor Baby. What's up, American Native? I do appreciate it. Take care. See you tomorrow. For Bible Thumper Thursday and beyond. All right, y'all. Peace. Oh. Peace.